then you have to redesign a classroom. And our classroom was originally really low lit, and this was the roof form. It was like a single pitch roof over top of it, and we were challenged with making it brighter. So originally we were like, hey, let's punch this one big skylight in here. I ran that through Diva, and it came up with this huge red spot, way too bright, way too much glare, all that sort of stuff. So by kind of creating this geometry, taking this geometry, putting it in the grasshopper, and defining subtractive elements to it, I was able to experiment and run through a whole bunch of different design iterations at a very quick level. Like I was able to do all of this in a matter of like 2 hours. And not even, because most of that time was spent waiting for the render, for Diva to do its analysis. But I was able to find a perforation that worked as far as providing the daylighting effect we wanted in the whole floor plate. And then I was able to take that knowledge of just kind of what the openings are I'm looking for, and then I was able to change it into something that's actually a feasibly built thing that has 4 rectangular skylights instead of a whole cadre of octagonal or hexagonal ones or whatever those were. And I think that's it for me. Yeah, and Diva also does thermal analysis where you apply thermal properties to materials, just as this you're dealing with applying reflective properties to materials. I think that's all for me. I'm going to toss it to Eric, who showed up.
Nice.
He's going to talk to you a little bit about rendering.
Okay, so I just ran like 5 blocks, so I'm a little bit out of breath, but it's good because I'm nice and excited to get you guys excited about my favorite part of digital media, which is rendering. Do any of you have experience with digital rendering? Yeah. What software do you use?
Weird.
Okay. And you use?
We use SketchUp.
SketchUp,
And then
okay.
just the
Whatever it has in it, yeah.
renderize or whatever it was.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you guys a few different techniques in rendering, specifically digital rendering. There's all types of rendering you can get out there, and of course, as they probably mentioned, we're not downplaying the use of pen and pencil and watercolor and things like that, but this lecture is specifically for digital rendering, so that's what we're going to cover. Okay, so to me, just like a design process, the most important part of rendering is figuring out what it is that you want to show your client or your professor. So a lot of people will automatically go straight towards the realistic rendering, thinking that all renderings have to be this way. There's certain issues with each type of rendering, so you have to kind of ask yourself what it is that you want to show, and depending on what part of the process you're in, what you don't want to show. Because a lot of times what you don't want to show is just as important as what you want to show. Look at that, written down. Okay, so some things to remember going forward is you can break out of the box. It's okay to not want to do a rendering that has people in it and trees and all this stuff going on. And actually, whenever you do a realistic rendering, you're going to be compared subconsciously in that juror's mind or that client's mind to something else that they've already seen in magazines and things like that. So if you don't have the time to produce a really good realistic rendering, sometimes the artistic renderings will allow you to still show the major ideas that you're trying to show, while at the same time you're not being compared to a million